Hello, good morning. Doing some Sunday morning baking. Um, for the next installment of Stardew Valley cooking slash baking. Here are my rules for this challenge that I've made up for myself. Number one, I have to use all of the ingredients that are listed in the game. Number two, I can add any other ingredients as long as they're not included in the game. Number three, as much as possible, create the recipes myself, although exceptions for baking. I'm using a recipe that I'm modifying a little bit for this one. Rule number four, as much as possible, use sort of like fancy ingredients, local and or foraged. Rule number five, as much as possible, take inspiration from the in-game item images and descriptions. Number six, as much as possible, try to make them actually tasty, even if they're not supposed to be pitched as it. This rule is about carp surprise. Rule number seven, have fun. Um, I think this one is going to take a little longer because I have to make cake batter and bake it and let it cool and ice it. I may do like a part two later this evening to just like construct it. We'll see. We'll see how long it seems like it's taking. Um, but I have a little bit of like testing that I want to do uh to really figure things out. Hello, sweet pea. But before I go start doing that, I will read off the information about what we're making, which is pink cake. There's little heart candies on top. The ingredients for this recipe are melon, wheat flour, sugar, and egg. No milk, which is a little bit of a challenge, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use melon juice instead of the where you would use milk. And I'm hoping that that will make it kind of have a pink color, have a melon flavor. It'll get the melon in there, and hopefully will be about the right amount of like liquid, if I just replace it. So I did look up to try and like find, figure out what kind of melon is in Stardew Valley. And I don't think that I was not able to find the existence of any melon that is pink on the outside. So I've gone with watermelon because it's pink on the inside and I was able to get some. And I don't like honeydew or cantaloupe. So I didn't want to make a cake that had one of those melons because then I would not like it. uh, and I would be stuck with a whole cake that I didn't like. So step one, I think, is going to be juicing this watermelon. I did also actually get this as well, and that's part of my preparation step. This is a pepino melon, a fruit that I have never had before and don't know if I like. So I'm gonna try a little bit of it and decide if I want to incorporate this into the cake at all. I'm thinking maybe as like a maybe I'll put it in between the layers first. I'm going to. This was put in this watermelon. Um, I'm going, I think, to double this recipe and to make four layers because it makes two layers. And I only have two cake pans. Um, so I will have to do sort of two batches. Um, that's over on the table. Um, but when I've made cakes in these before, I feel like they have been very flat, and I want it to be sort of tall, like it is in the game. Um, the other thing that I, for the little heart candies on top, what I think I'm gonna do, I have this dried watermelon. I'm gonna cut this into heart shapes and use that as the decoration on top. I'll also try a little bit of this, um, as a little taste test. While probably, I'm sure there will be things that need to be waited on. Okay. I've literally juiced watermelons before, and I'm trying to remember how I did it. I did also get a new cheesecloth, um, because I think that it is good to have more than one for my kombucha endeavors. Boy, this is just like a big piece of it, huh? Okay. Well, I don't need this entire thing all at once, so let me figure out an amount that will be not too cumbersome. Uh, this will be good. Mhm. So I'm gonna really endeavor to get the pulp out of the watermelon as I'm juicing it, because I think that it'll substitute if it isn't grainy. But I also don't think it's gonna be like that big of a deal. I'm also considering. I'm thinking about whether I'm gonna make just like some buttercream frosting. I'm trying to decide whether I want to uh, also add watermelon juice to that. I'm gonna get also a strainer. Just really make sure. Okay. I think I will use this. Once I start actually making the cake batter, I will also preheat the oven. Um, I honestly don't know how long I'm gonna take to just like be doing miscellaneous sort of prep steps. So don't want to get too ahead of myself there. All right, I think I'm honestly just gonna like cut the flesh out of this. Okay, it is nice and juicy. So that is promising for the fact that I need the juice. I'm also gonna get a measuring cup. I need at least two. Actually, I don't think this bowl is a good thing to put it in because this is a hard bowl to pull it out of. Um, what sort of large containers do I? Oh, you know what? I'll just use an old yogurt container. That I think will be good, and that will be easier to pour the juice out of. So I'm literally just squeezing this. it's kind of fun to like juice fruit by just tearing it apart and crushing it. Uh, okay. Yeah, this is good. There will definitely be enough. This like eighth of the watermelon is getting me almost excited. I'll probably juice more than 2 cups in case I want to use some in the frosting. What I will actually get on a bowl for though is to put this squeezed out water pulp and seeds and everything in. And maybe I'll find something to do with it, or just like pick out the seeds and eat it. 1 cup. So 1 cup took like quarter of the watermelon. Maybe I will actually just get 2 cups then if this half that I've already cut up is gonna give me 2 cups, and then I can squeeze more out of the other half if I need it later, but might be a little easier to leave the other half in one piece until I figure out what I want to do with it. I'm sure any of the leftover watermelon I'll just like slice up. I will figure that out after I'm done making this cake. I've juiced watermelon before. I really don't remember how I did it. I may have actually not so much juiced it as just like put it in a blender. But I've made like watermelon sherbet. Um, I don't know if this is like an experience that was common to anyone else, but like the like most coveted cake for me as a kid with a summer birthday was the watermelon shaped sherbet cake. Um, and like my mom made me one year, um, and then and it was awesome. It's just like pink and green sherbet in like the shape of half a watermelon. Um, you can do like chocolate chips to be the seeds. Um, and a couple of years ago was like, man, when I was a kid, that was like the the greatest cake ever. I should like make myself one for my birthday. So I made, and now usually I think it's like raspberry and lime. Yeah, I think it's usually like raspberry and lime sherbet. Just like a pink and a green one. Um, but I was like, if I'm making this watermelon cake, I want it to be watermelon. So I made like watermelon sherbet and trying to think what I did for the green. It may have been lime. Um, no, it was kiwi. I did kiwi. Um, and I like made my own sherbet and I like got like big hemispherical bowls. Um, and I like put the green layer in and like froze that in shape and then I like filled it with the watermelon. Um, I don't remember if I did seeds in that one or not. But it was really fun to make. Honestly, it was like fine, the final product. It was too big was the problem. I made too much of it. And so like by the time I was like, all right, I think I've had enough of this like watermelon and kiwi sherbet. I still had a lot left. Um, but that was definitely a fun thing to make. Um, okay. My cat is going crazy in the other room, and I don't know what she's up to. Good. Okay. Well, it's fine. It's going to get a little more juice in here without completely just getting watermelon juice all over myself in my kitchen. Is no easy feat. Okay. There we go. That's full. All right. 2 cups of watermelon juice. Set aside. Next step. Um, I'm going to try and have a piece of this dried watermelon. Well, it's time for taste test. Mm, I'm also just gonna finish these things. Um, actually, the like light pink, like right next to the rind, is my favorite part of the watermelon. But I simply don't have room to deal with it right now. So, okay, cut a little piece of this off. Interesting. I mean, yeah, it tastes like watermelon and it has the texture of like a dried fruit, which I guess makes sense. Um, I think that probably will be a good thing to put on top of the cake as the little heart candies. All right, next up, pepino melon. I'm gonna cut off a slice and try it. Hmm. Sort of pear-like flavor. But there is also something melony about it. I'm like not really sure if I like it. Interesting. Okay. I will set this aside also and decide what to do with it. Um, where do I want to put this? I'm gonna put this, like, the watermelon in the fridge. Um, this, put you on a plate, I guess. It is pink cake. Is the the thumbnail not right? I thought I updated it. Also, hello. Um, okay. I'm just gonna rinse this off. Actually, I don't know if I need it right now. So I can live in the sink for now. And I'm sure I will remember that I need you later. Okay. Um, I am going to actually start making some cake batter. I'm using a yellow cake recipe and just replacing the um milk with the watermelon juice. This butter is like not yet room temperature. I'm also trying to decide if it would be better to make the doubled batch of batter all together or to make it twice and make the second batch while the first cakes are cooking. I think that might be better just to like make it a little easier um to not like have so much batter that I'm working with and like struggle to divide it up evenly. I am, I think, gonna let you out. What temperature do I need to preheat my oven to? 350. Okay. Is there a rack in the center here? Oh, look at that. I knew that I was gonna forget that there was a thing in there. Um, I'll move this down. Okay. Am going to line these pins with some parchment paper. I think that that will be make things easier for me. Mhm. Yeah, because like I think the other benefit of Split is that then like while the first batch is baking, I'll have something to do and I can make the second. That also allows I'm kind of trying to decide. My initial thought was like, oh, maybe if I find a cake recipe that just doesn't call for milk in the first place, um, I'll do like one half of them. I'll make just like yellow cake, and then the other two layers will have the watermelon juice in it. And I could like sort of alternate them, which I do think would be like kind of fun, but I don't have anything else that I could like substitute for the milk to like have it be a cake batter that is like actually like the recognizable as the texture of cake. So I think we're gonna do juice for both batches. Um, I did also look for like specifically a juice cake recipe, but I didn't really find one that was speaking to me. Um, and I was like not totally sure if the ones that I was finding, because they were mostly like orange juice cake recipes. Because that seems like the kind of traditional cake to make a juice cake, I guess. Um, Juice to make a cake. Um, and like I was like, I don't really know if this seems like it would translate well to watermelon. And it also looked like a lot of them were like, oh, just use a box yellow cake mix. So I was like, okay, I will just find a yellow cake recipe and like make the modifications myself. Hopefully these like circles end up being all sort of the right size. Whatever. It's like also not even like a crucial step to be measured out well. Okay, we should be free of parchment paper crinkling. Cool. Right. I'm gonna get. I think I have like a little. Oh no, I used it for something. Okay. Just gonna use the butter that will go into the recipe to grease the pan. I feel like it will probably be like a negligible amount that is used up. All right. There is that. All right. Um, I think probably it's a good idea to use my largest bowl, even if it is not my most favorite bowl. I can use my preferred large bowl for the, okay. Is this gonna be a, no, actually you only need the one bowl. You don't have to mix your ingredients separately. Okay. We need to, honestly, probably soften this butter a little bit. This is much more beatable. Um, I'm gonna have to like hand beat this because my electric mixer died. And I should honestly probably get a new one. Um, but that'll happen whenever I really actively need one. Um, okay, sugar, how much is that? Oh, the other modification I'm making is that I'm going to use less sugar because instead of milk, I'm using fruit juice, which is sweet and has sugar in it. So I think that it probably will be, it calls for 1.5 cups of sugar. I'm going to do 1 cup. And I figure the cup of watermelon juice will make up the difference. Uh, I also actually got cake flour for this. Um, Usually I just don't really bother with getting like cake flour, bread flour, and stuff. Um, and just use all purpose. But I figured I would I would give it a shot to use the more proper uh type of um, flour and see if that seems to make a noticeable difference. I don't know if it will. Uh, Baking powder, salt, vanilla. Great. 2.5 teaspoons of this. Um, have vanilla extract in here somewhere and not just the vanilla paste. I think I will probably use vanilla paste, honestly. Um, yeah, let's do that. Okay, how much of this do I need? Where are you? A tablespoon? Tablespoon. actually kind of convenient that for all of the smaller measures, don't really need to reuse any individual measuring spoon size. So I will just leave these here and reuse them again for the next batch that I do. This one is going. All right, break up this butter. That's done. Freaky games. That's fine. I don't think this will be too terribly difficult. Okay, until pale and fluffy. Says about 3 minutes with an electric mixer. We'll see if I feel that it it needs that long to beat by hands. I may actually do do the hand mixing special, which is just extra wash my hands here and then just mix it together with my hands. And that should speed it up. And then once it's like a little bit more soft and incorporated, I can go back to the fork to fluff it up. Break some of these last chunks of butter. Oh no, that's solid, and then I can just go back to the fork, fluff it up a little bit, and then we can get adding the rest of the ingredients. I think that is good enough. I think it'll be easier to kind of fluff things up when the eggs been added. Um, which I need to do now. Two at a time takes four. Might actually be liquid enough now to use a whisk. I'm like kind of a whisk hater, honestly. Um, I feel like a fork pretty much works just as well to do most mixing tasks and less stuff gets stuck in it. All right, other two eggs. Alrighty, half the flour, all of the juice, rest of the flour. Okay, cool. How much flour is it? I want to say it's like 2 cups. 2 cups. Okay, please enough. Measure then. One, two, it's not the easiest things to work from. Just do a little action. Hopefully there is 6 cups in here. I think it should be good. 32 ounces. That's by weight. Well, we may need to use some regular flour. We'll see. Okay. There's that. Need the 1 cup watermelon juice. take this out and cut it open more and scoop rather than pour it into the thing to add the other half. And then that will be, I believe, all I need to do for this first batch. One, two, yeah, there's totally enough flour in here for the other one. Okay, cool. We're good. We're so then. All right. Like a very nice sort of peach color to it. Hold on. All right. Then we are going to. Are these 8 or 9 pans? These are 9 inch. Okay. We're gonna need to bake for 36 to 42 minutes. Okay. Hold on. There's some unmixed flour up in here. Let's get that out and give it one more little stir. All right. All right. Let's look at Stardew Valley cookbook. I don't actually know very much about it. I'm not sure if it like has recipes for the foods that you can cook in the game, or if like it's just sort of like Stardew Valley themed more generally. But I wonder if they have like a recipe for pink cake. I bet if they do, it would not meet the rules of my challenge. I bet they would call for adding milk because that's like a normal thing to do in a cake. I think that's about even. Spread this out. Okay. I mean, the batter tastes like cake batter, and there is a melon flavor, so that's sort of promising. Okay, I need to. All right, I'm gonna set this timer for 39 minutes, right in the middle of the range that they said. I'm gonna rinse this and get started on Batter number two. Not like fully washing this, just because like it's the same stuff going in, and I'll give it a full wash after I'm done. But I also don't want to like have bits of batter stuck in here as I'm doing the earlier steps. Okay. This butter probably also needs to, yeah. Uh, here we go. Butter, sugar. It's gonna be really funny if I don't use up my open bag of sugar on this. Because I was like, oh, I'm pretty low. Let me get more so that I can actually make this thing. Yeah, so let's open the new one. Okay, cool. Straight to hand mashing it up with this one. We can bring the fork in after that. We also need to add other stuff to this. Whatever. I'll incorporate the butter and sugar first, and then add the vanilla and powder and salt. Let me remember the amounts of stuff. Salt. I'm really very low on kosher salt. I probably should have gotten some when I went grocery shopping yesterday, but I didn't. Baking powder. Um, vanilla. Eggs. Alrighty. Alrighty then. There's my measuring cup. 1, 2, 3. Back to the whisk flour here. I'm so list if this is a cup, but I will just measure it. Yeah. All right. For the flour. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's like exactly of this flour. Which, I mean, I kind of did only get it for this, so that's fine. Means I don't have to find a place to store another half-open bag of flour. Uh, but I am glad that there was enough. Definitely need to have flour all over myself, but honestly, that's to be expected. Alright, here is their part two. Mm, leave this here, and start getting some of the other stuff ready for it. I'm gonna bring this cutting board back. And actually, it's do dried watermelon cut into some heart shape. I'm like not totally sure how difficult this is gonna be. Use a smaller knife. I wonder if like a good approach would be to like Sort of cut it in triangles. There you go. Little, little heart-shaped watermelon. I think that's good. Yeah. Mm, Wait, there's the plate. Just stick these on here. I think probably I've got these. I've got two pieces of this dried watermelon. I think probably just one will be good, and I can save the other to smoke on. All right, all watermelon hearts for decorating. This other one back to the plastic. Um, the, the little scrappy bits on this plate too. Maybe I'll use them in decorating. Maybe I won't. Oh, maybe I'll just eat them while I wait for things to finish cooking. Um, okay. Take a look at the buttercream recipe I was thinking of using. I'm hoping that I have enough butter to make enough frosting for this whole cake. I think it should be okay. I also definitely need this big bowl for it, so I will do that after this lunch has gone in the oven. Um, okay. It may be a situation where I kind of just need to wait. Let me try this. Try a little bit more of this pepino melon. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if I like this or not. I think I will probably not put it in the cake just because I don't want to like put it in there and then be like, actually, I hate this, and now I have a whole cake I don't like. Um, yeah, as I eat it, there's more like honeydew or cantaloupe type flavor. I'm like, it's not. I just like really do not like honeydew or cantaloupe. Um, and the flavor of this isn't like as bad to me as those are, but I think this may be a see if my friends want to try a weird fruit sort of thing and not a me snack on it. Yeah, buddy. What's up, sweet pea? All right, I'll let you down. But like, sweet pea, when you meow at me and you come up to me and you're just like, I need you. What else do you expect? What am I supposed to do if not pick you up and hold you like a baby? I do think that probably it's a good idea to put some watermelon juice in the frosting as well. So I'm going to squeeze a little bit more of that. Uh, maybe I'll also cut myself a slice of watermelon to just eat. Well, the cake is smelling good, so that's promising. One thing that I've like discovered through doing this project challenge, whatever you shall call it, series, whatever, is that when when you have like when you're looking for recipes with that don't include a particular ingredient, um, and this mainly comes up in baking, because those are the ones that I'm like, I need a recipe. I can't just like know generally what sorts of ingredients and sorts of processes I need to do and just sort of figure it out from there. If you look for example, I looked for like yellow cake recipe no milk. It was like, oh, here are like vegan or dairy-free options. And it's like great that those are coming up. Um, but I would do wish there was an easier way to sort of like search for like excluding a particular ingredient, not a particular category of ingredients. Because like I can use butter in anything in this challenge. Um, and like use it as a substitute for oil in like most recipes that call for that don't include oil in Stardew Valley that like if you're making them in real life you need to use oil. You need some kind of fat for it to be, for it to cook correctly or for it to like taste at all good. Um, I actually took this other piece of cheesecloth because I think they both need to be washed next time I do a towel wash. But like if I'm like, oh, well, I'm not allowed to use milk for this thing because Stardew Valley doesn't believe that it has milk in it. I'll look at so I looked up like oh yeah I already said like I looked up like yellow cake no and it was like we got use soy milk or use like a milk substitute here. Um, but that is like not really in the spirit of this challenge, I think. I don't think that like I think that if I were doing this challenge and was like, I can't have milk, I think I could use like oat milk or soy milk or whatever. And I feel like that would like count and be in the spirit of it. So I could use those when something calls for milk. Um, but for but like I don't think it should count as I don't think I should be able to just substitute that in and be like, well, I didn't technically use milk. This is the different thing. Um, Also in part because the mango sticky rice, I think it is the one that's like rice and mango and coconut are the ingredients. I'm definitely gonna use coconut milk and I'm gonna make like a coconut milk rice pudding. Um, with probably some mango juice in it and then mango on top. I'm looking forward to that one. I don't know when I'm gonna do it, but I think that one's gonna be really tasty when I get to it. Um, anyway, coconut milk, I think that counts as coconut. And like, there's not soybeans or almonds or oats, but I still think that those things should not be counted as different ingredients from milk. I'm gonna like stand over the sink with this. You know how it is. Honestly, I should probably have muted myself before I went to town on this watermelon, but oh well. Breaking into the Stardew Valley cooking ASMR market. Real untapped potential there. Okay. Realistically, I'm not actually going to think of anything to do with this watermelon pulp. Uh, So we can be done with that. It's go up. Awesome. Love that. Love to get my entire cinnamon to cake batter. Oh, okay. Guess we're watching my cinnamon. Maria's gonna get home from work and be like, why is there cinnamon on our drying rack? I actually don't know if she would notice. Or if she would like I guess I don't know if she would comment on it. Here's my sorry. I guess I'll wash my measuring implements. Dropping all of my CDs all over the place. I do like I have sometimes thought it would be fun to just like put something on my CD player during these. But I don't think I have any say I don't think I have any CDs that wouldn't get like copyright ID'd. That's not true. I definitely have some like real DIY options in here. I think some of those are in my car though. Oh, mostly the ones that are in here are like, for lack of a better word, like real CDs. Um, it's like a CD. You're probably also done with the cutting board. We finish that. But probably more likely is I'm gonna forget why the cinnamon is on the drying rack and then notice it later today or tomorrow and be like, why is that there? Let's see if I can find my toothpicks. There we go. I'm gonna test these here cakes in a couple minutes. I'll also grab my food coloring the um in case I decide I want to use some in the frosting. I don't know. I'm hoping the watermelon juice will like give it enough of a pink color on its own. I guess the other question is whether I would want to put like a little bit of extra red food coloring in the cake, but I feel like probably not. I think I would rather it be. But I think like layering different colors would be cute on the inside, but I think I would rather that happen because of like some ingredient rather than just being like, oh, I'll just food color it. Um, trying to think. I've got my cooling racks on the table in the next room, and I think I probably will just leave them there and let the cake. Connie, why are you on the table? You're not allowed up here. Someone was being naughty. I forgive her though. Making buttercream without an electric mixer is honestly kind of annoying. I've done it before. It's like it's manageable, but all right. Oh, these look good. I'll pop them up here. See what the old toothpick has to say. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Those are done. Okay. I am gonna give them a minute to sit here before I go pop them out onto the cooling rack. Um, so I also like did already make the batter, so I can't re-grease the pans. I bet there's enough to let the other pieces of parchment paper stick. All right. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I could do in the meantime. I don't think so. I'm gonna do a very quick be right back, and then when I come back, I will flip those onto the cooling rack and then get the next batch started. have returned, and I'm putting my camera back on, but I'm gonna uh, not be on it for a second while I go put these 8 layers on the cooling rack. Okay. I'm just gonna like swap this really. All right, those are on the cooling rack. We've got our hands free again. Mhm. Pop these in here. Yeah, looks like there's still a little bit of butter in there. All right. Seems like 39 minutes was the perfect time, so I will do that like once again. I feel like this batter is a little thicker than the previous one was. Maybe it's not. Maybe they're the same. But I didn't do anything different. Didn't take batter on my shirt. Wearing this because the fake Baltimore baseball team once again keeps winning. I'm actually, I don't know. I mean, I'm like kind of a Lady Beatles fan in that a lot of my a lot of the a lot of my fellow Crabs fans are uh are Lady Beatles fans, and also they're like the Bug team, um, which I am of course into, and like I was like I'm gonna be a Crabs fan when I joined baseball, because mostly because I like crabs. Um, and I was like, this is a good mascot that I'm into. But like, got family in Baltimore. It's not like it's just completely a meaningless city to me. Um, uh, but oh yeah, and like the now in MMOLB, if anything, it's an even more appealing mascot to me that the Baltimore team has, in that it's the Lady Beatles, and like I think some people want it changed to Ladybugs. Um, I think it's really fun that they are that they're Lady Beetles and not Ladybugs. I do call them Ladybugs, the bug, the insect, the beetle. Um, and I think that people who are like, actually they're Lady Beetles, they're not true bugs, are being pedantic in kind of an annoying way, as opposed to me, who's pedantic and it's fun and exciting. Um, but I do like Lady Beetles also as a name for the type of bug, and also for the MMOLB team. Um, even if I think that people who like act like Ladybug is wrong, are barking up the wrong tree. I don't know. Anyway, MMOLB has different cities than Baseball do. which means that I gotta go with my friends, the Atlanta tree frogs. Um, but in spirit, I do also like the Lady Beetles. Um, and I think it's really funny that they keep winning. Tim is much like um, that that quote from the coleopterist who was like, "God must be inordinately fond of beetles." The Sim is also inordinately fond of beetles, I think. Um, I keep talking about MLB on these streams without really like prefacing it at all. Um, but eh, it's on the mind. It's a fun thing that I'm enjoying following. Also, I did a couple days ago. I did a commentary for one of the Frogs playoff games. One of the two that we have this year. Um, it's fine. We'll get them next season. Frogs, frogs on the move. Frogs on the rise. Okay. Let me do a little bit of just like basic cleaning up. I'm gonna wipe down this cabinet. Then gonna get to making some frosting. I think that my mic is picking it. Okay, I had a moment where I was like, did I forget to unmute myself after I came back? Um, I don't think my mic is picking it up, but my cat is playing with a paper bag. And it is crinkling and crunkling. Okay. Alright. Okay, this this butter. Okay. I'm gonna 1.5 times this recipe because that is the amount of butter that I have. I honestly probably would double it if I had an extra stick of butter, but I don't. I think probably 1.5 will be good because, like, when I've made buttercream before, I think it's been a similar sort of quantity to this. Um, and that has been enough to do in between and around two of these cake tins. Um, we're just immediately going into the hand. But my hand is going to be very buttery. I will just have to accept that. Um, focusing. Oh, yeah. So I think if I do 1.5 times as much, um, that'll probably be if the one is enough to do one in between layer and the outside. I think probably an extra 50% will be enough to do the other two inside layers. Um, and I can always like add a little bit extra watermelon juice to try and like thin it out a little bit and make it go further. Trying to just like hand mix this butter until it's good and smooth, and then I'll kind of whip it up a little bit with the fork. Really just like kneading it, honestly. Whenever I make like bread or do this to butter, it always makes me miss ceramics. Should there is like a ceramic studio in town that you can like take classes at or like just like pay a fee and then have access to like studio space and like use their films and stuff that I like have definitely thought about doing before. I've done like a one-off class there, and I think it's more focused on like pottery wheel rather than like hand building, which I always kind of prefer hand building. Um, Spinning is hard, and I like being able to kind of like adjust more easily and like make stuff that's not just like round with hand building. I'm also like usually with ceramics, I've always kind of been more into like sculpting rather than making like plates and bowls and cups and stuff. Um, but powdered sugar. I actually don't remember if I have an open bag. Yeah. I have a fresh one if I need it. But let's see. Oh, I have a lot of sugar, and I have like a full bag of powdered sugar. Okay, we are absolutely fine. Oh, one thing I didn't think of that maybe I should do is make like a make some kind of syrup to drizzle on the cakes. Think I'll consider that once I'm done with my done making the frosting. Especially because I like buttercream frosting when it's like very cold and it becomes less appealing um when it's like warm. So I would like to make this frosting and then put it in the fridge for a little bit, cool it off. Okay. Pretty good. I could go more watermelon and just like do more watermelon juice and drizzle that on. Um, or I could make like wondering if like a brown sugar syrup would be good, or like some kind of like lime syrup. I don't know. I feel like brown sugar probably would be more in line with like the vibe of the pink cake rather than lime. Um, but I guess the other struggle would be like how long would it take to make and then school, and would I want to get constructing the cake before then? Um, the the past couple times I've made cakes, I think it's been I guess unless you count the flan I made for my birthday. It's been a London fog cake, like an Earl Grey cake that I added lavender to. I just like an apple lavender Earl Grey. Um, and that is like, oh, you can. It's got a bunch of like steps that are like, here's an optional thing you can do to like add more Earl Grey flavor, and I always just do all of them, so that it's just like a really strong like Earl Grey and lavender flavor. Um, but one of them is like, oh, you can make just like an Earl Grey syrup, um, and then when you're constructing the cake, sort of drizzle it on to keep the cake more moist, and also to just like add some more of that flavor. Um, I do think next time I make it, I might want to like do that, but see if I can do like less, like a smaller ratio of sugar, because I feel like it does also just like add sweetness when like I think the cake recipe itself is like a good level of sweet. Yeah, Connie, what's up? Do you need something, buddy? Or do you just want to talk to me? Oh, I should remember that I'm gonna need more than 3 cups. I'm gonna need 4.5 cups total. Um, for the amount of butter. This is number 3. I want to go back to hand mixing this. I don't think I really do. And 4 is the last full cup I need. Meow. Meow. I'm like assuming that those loud wailing meows are being picked up. But it would honestly be kind of funny if they weren't, and all you could hear was just like occasionally be going, yeah, completely unprompted. Um, at the last half cup here. It's not like that last cup isn't like totally mixed in, but it's good enough. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go back to mushing this together with my hands. I think that may be the easiest way to get some of this powdered sugar incorporated in here. Need a pinch of salt. However, 1.5 pinches of salt is probably that is about good. I may say about like sprinkling some salt on top. This says to add vanilla extract. I think I will do vanilla in some of I'm not going to use the teaspoon though, because I don't want to have to wash that again. I'm just going to use a small spoon and get a spoonful. Drizzle that in, and also add a bit of this watermelon juice. Not all of it that I've got in there, and we will see if I need to add more. I think the fork is not the tool for this portion. I think the spatula is gonna be what I need. I'm gonna pull the. I think I'm pretty much done with recipe looking at. I will pull the pink cake image to just to see sort of what color the frosting is. It's like a pretty light pink, but it is kind of like it's like saturated. I think honestly, watermelon juice might be a little bit too red. Although I don't know. The buttercream is white, so just a little bit of water juice should. I think I need a juice here. Let me taste it. Yeah, buddy. Actually, this color is looking be all right. Seems it still is sufficiently pink once it's like all mixed together and consistent. I do think that probably not a good idea to add too much more liquid though. The texture is a bit more liquidy than your typical buttercream. It's not quite the same pink as in the image, but I think that's okay. It's like pink enough. Okay. So show this off, even though I'm sure my webcam will not um really pick up the well. Are you okay, buddy? Do you need something or are you just chatting? Interesting. Yeah, you really can't see the color in the in the webcam. It's okay. You go there. You go there. You go there. You will go in the trash in a second. You you actually go where you were. I lied. I shouldn't have moved you. Um, this plate here. I'm gonna throw away the paper towel. Let's see if I can move some things around in the fridge here to be able to fit the bowl of frosting. I think we mixed it. We may be really related. Stuff it? Nope. Mm. Mm. What's up to this? There we go. There we go. We're so okay. Got 12 minutes on these two cake layers. My washing machine. Dishwasher. Um, it's half a cup. Wipe down the counter a little bit more fully, since I don't think there will be any more like flour or powdered sugar or anything. Events getting it totally dirty again. All right. We also gotta make empanadas today. They're kind of time intensive. So usually I'll make them like on the weekends and then just like freeze them. And then when I'm ready to eat them, I do that. And then I can just like heat them up, do the like final baking step. Um, instead of having to, oh, you know what? Now that I am done with the counter, I can move my pulling racks in here. Ta-da! These are pretty cool. Um, guess I could. Probably this will be the. What is these? How's it? Yeah. Here I'm gonna construct the cake. And then start leveling. No, I'll let these. I'll let these ones get out, and then I'll start leveling off. Ooh, my computer is low on battery. I figured that might happen, considering I knew this was gonna be like a long process, and oh, I I see why they asked if it was pink cake or parsnip soup and bread. Whoopsie. Uh, we're making pink, not parsnip soup. The bread from that is all gone. Parsnip soup, I may have a little bit left. Don't totally remember. I made a really yummy grilled cheese with some of the bread I made as for the last one of these I did. Because it was like I don't know. It was like the last chunk of it that I had, and I was like, this is like probably about to go stale. I should eat it and not just like little slices. So I just like cut it in half, put some cheese in there. My parrot, my little parrot. I'm gonna grab you a toy. Let's grab you a toy. I don't know where she went. She followed me out of the kitchen and then did not come back. Oh, there she is. She's right around the doorway. Boy. Flour, cake batter, cat hair, all sorts of things on my shirt. Figure out what I'm gonna have for lunch. It is 12:30. Hiding behind the broom. Hey, you got it! Good job, you're so talented. Oh, do you want me to play in the living room? You don't want me to. That's why you're meowing at me. You're like, get out of the kitchen. What are you doing in there? I'm baking a cake, Connie. I know you probably don't care that much about that because it's a not for you. Um, what do I want to have for lunch? Had tomato soup for dinner last night, but I ate some of that for breakfast. So my usual go-to of just have my leftovers from the previous day is maybe not totally the vibe. I wonder if any of my like friends are free and want to do something lunch related. Actually, I do need to go to the grocery store because I needed to get cannellini beans, and I was grabbing some other like canned vegetables that I needed to get, and went bean section. There's the color that the cannellini beans can is. Grabbed it. Not until I got home did I realize that actually I grabbed garbanzo beans because the bean image is a similar color, and the this one is blue, the like name label, and the cannellini beans are green. And I was not thinking clearly that hard about it. And I can't use chickpeas for the meal that I need cannellini beans for. It is not a situation in which they are really interchangeable. Maybe I should like, since I have these two cans of chickpeas now and no particular plan with what to do with them. Maybe next week I'll like make falafel or something. That could be good. Is really overgrown, and there's like what sort of looks like a nest structure. It's like very deep. It looks kind of like woven together. And I did see a squirrel in it the other day. Now it could also be a bird's nest that a squirrel was in trying to steal eggs or something. Um, that certainly is also possible. Oh, beautiful. Um, all right, none of these are out of the oven. Yeah, start leveling out these ones. Um, yeah, I don't know, but it's like it's too high for me to see into. Like the top of it is like right at the top of the window, so I'm not sure what's in there. But and grab this bowl. Extra bits in. Also, nice thing about when you level out a cake is you get to taste test it. It does taste like watermelon. And it's got like a watermelon. It's like not super strong. Like at first you're like, this is just a yellow cake. And then the watermelon does like come in. This is quite nice actually. Yeah, I think sprinkling watermelon juice on it would take away from it a little bit. Especially since the frosting is already gonna be watermelon flavored too. I think more would be too much watermelon. All right. Gonna get these out. That's cool. Huh. Honestly, I probably do need to give those at least like half an hour to cool before I level them and start constructing. Um, yeah, yeah, creature. Honey, what should I have for lunch? I'm also wondering if it would make sense to end this stream and then do part two once these are done cooling, and probably honestly after I go eat something. I feel like that honestly probably is the sensible move. Yeah. Let's see. 12:45. You know what? I'm not gonna schedule the next part, but I will just do it in probably about an hour, honestly. Um, and I will construct my pink cake. But for now, this segment, this part one of pink cake is concluded.